All right, what's up, everyone, fellow adventurers, as we always say. Update 59 is here. Let's talk about it real quick. What it means for you. Read the patch notes, just in case you can't read them yourself. Maybe you want to listen to my beautiful voice, and we'll talk about what's happening and what it means for us. So there's three new quests. Three newly legendary quests that are free, and the four paid ones. The Assault on Summerfield, that's the one where you fight the big ogre. That should be fun. Blockade Buster, that'll be interesting because you can complete that in about 2 minutes. So that might be a quick farm there for Reaper XP. Undermine, that should be a lot of fun with all the mines and stuff. And good end fight. That that might cause some fun on legendary difficulty. Siege Breaker, that end fight should be fun there too. Another exciting quest with it's the hags, right? Diplomatic Impunity, that's the one that had the wild men, which are now bullywugs because wild men is incredibly racist, apparently. Framework with the Minotaurs, and you can just jump straight to the end of that quest, as we all know. Eyes of Stone takes a little bit longer. Should be fun. All right. Yeah, the NPCs will now be in the plaza. Fantastic. Performance work. This is the big one. Everyone's kind of excited about this, but it won't be until it's live that we know if it's actually worked, right? They're trying to decrease the amount of information that's put through the friggin' client, so there's less lag. Anyway, they're going to do that through doing stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I'm just a content creator, boys. Bug fixes. The crashing issue related to sounds. I believe that was dinosaurs in Isle of Dread was making people crash. 32 skill augments now have their listed benefit. I didn't even know. Offhand slot should no longer go missing after an reincarnation as an artificer. That's good if you play artificer, I guess. The spiked turban now has proper visuals. Very cool. I do love cosmetics. That's the real end game. Mirrors of Glamoring. Clear a tooltip to explain how they work. Do you guys remember when you could glamour items, and if you wore them, you could keep some of their effects on them, and you could TR and have really good effects on your glamoured items? Those were the days. Energy, Vortex, Poison, and Negative now have their correct tooltips within the spell. Oh, man, I've been waiting for that forever. The web barriers in Sacrifices can be broken with Eldritch Blast, handy for Warlock players. Technomage Filigree provide their plus 5% armor class set bonus, and no longer call the set the wrong name. That's a pretty shit Filigree set in my opinion. So, sorry. Divine Righteousness in the Paladin Sacred Defender 3rd core is now untyped and grants its correct amount of threat gen. That's great for tanks, I guess. Mass Suggestion has its correct icon. I thought it had the same suggestion it's always had. I didn't know it was an issue. A few pet benefit icons have changed to reflect their passive states. Okay, cool. Love that. Black Dragon Bolt's damage to players has been reduced to its original values. Yes, that spell does a lot of damage sometimes, and I guess it wasn't balanced. Natural fighting feats will now work correctly with Blight Wolf. Very good for all the Blight Wolf players out there with that new archetype. Love that. Fixed a bank issue where moving an item from the shared crafting storage to the character bank, if the character bank was full, would result in the loss of the item and the breaking of the interbank transfer. Oh my god. Shit. Well, that's good for those guys. The Soul of Cruelty damage over time effect now has a cooldown again, and no longer provide a triple stack from Frostlands. Funny thing about Soul of Cruelty in high Reaper content is when you walk past, I think, like a fire alley, and you get the giant dot. You didn't even touch him. You just walk past him. So that's good. Good change. Enemies should no longer attack dead pets, defenders, and NPCs. That sucks because, it's really good when you're playing the game and a hard boss just bugs out. Spear of the Mournlands is once again considered a favoured weapon by Blade Forged. Very cool, very on brand. Insightful Deadly Shards can now be properly applied to trinkets. So think like Kenneth Crafting. I did not know Insightful Deadly Shards did not work on those. That is good. As you guys know, I often get Insightful Deadly from a trance or an item. But that's handy for the trinkets there. Dark Apostate's Shadow Form is now correctly hidden by the full character overlay option. Great. That's exactly what you guys want to see. Silver Fang from Dinosaur Bone Crafting now grants its listed DCs. I did not even know that wasn't working. What a fucking... Great. Sovereign Lightning Strike on legendary alchemical weapons now correctly applies. So I'm assuming the legendary alchemical weapons are the ones you craft in Kenneth after doing, Lord of Blades and Master Artificer. I don't know if many people are using these. I do believe they're quite high minimum level. But good to know that works. Pale Master's Skeletal Knights will no longer go down in CR if you are beyond level 30. So they're not going to get weaker when you get to level 31. Okay, that makes sense. Dark Hunters may now use specific grenades without requiring them to bypass the UMD requirements. Perfect. The open AL32.dll has been updated. You know what? I'm an idiot. I don't know what that means. Anyway, the EAX has been corrected for a 64-bit client. Is that to do with sounds? Is sounds going to work better? Who knows? Fix the issue with Nature's Protector's Killer Instinct virtual FX system gradually causing client lag the more you use it. That's amazing. Anything that is making less lag for the players, incredible. Alright, let's have a look. The firing arc tolerance for general missile weapons, like bows, has been up from 45 degrees to 60. This should help avoid dry fires when the player is strafing, circling a monster up close with a missile. You know how sometimes you shoot the roof when you're too close to a mob? I believe this will fix that. Handy. Most individual resistance, insight, and quality bonuses to reflex, fortitude, and will saving throws on items have been increased by 1. Okay. Putting them slightly above the values on resistance items. That makes sense because resistance does give you all 3, so it makes sense that they'd want to. Yeah, if you want to focus on one save, there should be a better option than resistance. Work has been done behind the scenes for universal tree tomes to make them work slightly differently on our end. This should have no effect on the functionality, but we wanted to let you know work had been done in case something goes pear-shaped. Great. It's very nice of them to share this stuff. The Fast Nightmare Mount is now bound to account. That's great, so you can use it on all your alt tunes or alt characters. When you spot or automatically detect a secret door, little icon, that's good, so you know you've actually found something. There is also a sound, I believe, when you spot something. When you spot or automatically detect a trap, the same thing, but you get an exclamation mark. That's cool. That's cool. So make sure you level spot, guys. Free of the Wild, great leveler. I've said that in the past, this is very weird to use. They reduce the duration of the movement pause. Thank you. Remove the awkward pause to your ability to attack after using Great Leveler. Thank you. The text size increased on non-enhanced smash. So I think that the text size, when you haven't got the upgraded enhancements for it, is better. This is an Epic Destiny skill, by the way. Visualizers on enhanced smash better match detect size. Cool. And the 500 attack bonus is applied to your hit roll. Holy shit. Cool. That's great because, like I said, that used to be pretty awkward to use. The cooldown on Sacred Vial has been increased from 3 to 10 seconds to match Banishment and other death effects. So we do know that Banishment in a Vial, Sacred Vial, was a little bit too strong in some places. It makes sense to balance it, to make it the exact same as Banishment. However, maybe they could have had a little bit of difference in them to make them feel unique. Anyway, Tsunami's correct caster level, max caster level, and crowd control duration have been adjusted. The max caster level is down to 20 from 25 to match other level 9 spells, and the CC duration is down to 6 seconds. So Tsunami is obviously too strong. Yeah, I guess Druids are just much too strong. That spell is really strong from as soon as you get it. Yeah, balance and all that. Now, here's the big one we might all be a little bit miffed about. Caster damage in Reaper difficulty has been adjusted for Skull 7 and higher. Okay. So you're going to be doing less damage as a caster. We do know that casters were extremely overpowered. Oh, not overpowered. I guess a good caster is just stronger than any melee, I guess. However, when you think about this, it kind of makes a DC caster come back to prominence. Kind of. In maybe. Probably not. But I feel like the DC Sork now should be one of the strongest classes to take into High Reaper because they just insta-kill everything. Reduction to the damage doesn't matter. They're going to use damage spells to apply debuffs as far as I know. So, yeah. We'll see how it all pans out. I guess like your Greater Ruins and your Dragon Breaths from casters might be doing a fair bit less damage. So, we'll see how it all goes. It's just going to encourage a little bit more team play. I'm all about playing with a team. Perfect. So self-healing penalty in Reaper has been adjusted. The penalty for self-healing while outside of combat is now the same as the existing penalty for healing others while out of combat. So in Reaper, when you heal someone else, you have a small penalty to healing. When you heal yourself, you have a very large penalty. Now you'll be able to heal yourself out of combat as if you were healing someone else. Whereas in combat, you still won't be able to heal yourself as good. This is great because it saves time between fights. It makes people's life easier if they're trying to solo. That is a positive change, but it depends how they identify in and out of combat, I guess. Ego Whip casts by Mind Flayers and Kopru will no linger scale up as aggressively in epic difficulty. So I do know that if you get hit by that Ego Whip by the Kopru in Isle of Dread, when you're in high rep, you just lose all your charisma. You might have 80 charisma and straight to 0. So that's cool. That make that a bit more manageable, because as soon as you hit that 0 charisma, you're helpless. So that's a nice change. Sora Kell now uses a Dispel Force Ball instead of the Dance Sphere in her encounter. That's good. A bit more damage there. She's going to one-shot whole parties, I guess, as she dispels everyone. Very cool. And finally, guys, UI. Any chest that is locked but can be picked has a lock visual effect over itself. Cool. Pet character sheet is whatever. Pet character sheet, saving throws, okay. And the crafting storage sort should no longer reset if you hover over the options. Fantastic. All right, guys, let me know what you think about these updates, and we'll try and have some playthroughs of the new quests on High Rep when it all comes out. Cheers, boys. Boom.